Hello and welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, just a quick reminder to please subscribe to this channel for more content about what's going on in Florida. And we also have a weekly podcast now too. I'll leave a link in the description to our Busch Gardens vs. Animal Kingdom episode that we recently did. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. So Walt Disney World's Animal Kingdom recently celebrated its 20-year anniversary, and Busch Gardens Tampa Bay is quietly approaching 60, making it the oldest theme park in Florida. Both of the parks combine theme park attractions with animal exhibits, and both of them are part of the competitive Central Florida theme park scene. So which park do we think is better? We're going to rate each park according to these categories: rides and attractions, theming and atmosphere, animal exhibits, and value for your money. So let's do this. It's a Florida face-off. Animal Kingdom versus Busch Gardens. First up, rides and attractions. So we think this one really comes down to personal taste and what you're looking for. It's no question that Busch Gardens has a lot more to offer in this category with a huge variety of rides. They have lots of big roller coasters, a couple of water rides, kids rides, the Serengeti Railway, and the terrifying Falcon's Fury. While Animal Kingdom is huge and sprawling, it really only has a handful of attractions sprinkled around the park. But the ones they do have are truly one-of-a-kind, world-class attractions. Expedition Everest is the most expensive roller coaster ever built. The Kilimanjaro Safaris takes you on a 22-minute journey through a simulated African savanna that's larger than the Magic Kingdom. And of course, the new world of Avatar, with some of the most technically impressive rides you'll ever see. So who do we think is better in rides and attractions? Well, we think this one is actually really close. If you're looking for thrill rides like Falcon's Fury or world-class roller coasters like Kumba and Cheetah Hunt, then Busch Gardens is the place you want to be. But for really unique and just overly impressive rides and attractions unlike anywhere else, we give the nod to Animal Kingdom. So we're actually going to make this one a tie. Busch Gardens has a lot more to do, but the stuff at Animal Kingdom is just top-notch, and it really just depends on what kind of experience you're after and what kind of rides you like. Next up, theming and atmosphere. Now this is the category where Animal Kingdom really shines. First off, the Tree of Life that dominates the center of the park is just a truly amazing sight to see. There's over 300 animal sculptures in that thing, and the longer you look, the more you'll discover. The theming around the African, Asia, and Pandora areas are all just perfect, and really transport you to those places while you're in the park. The Imagineers went through painstaking effort paying attention to every little detail to make this park look as genuine as they could. We'll knock a few points off for the cheesy Dinoland USA, but the rest of the park makes up for this one misstep. Animal Kingdom also creates a fun party-like atmosphere all the time, with live music and performers around every corner of the park. And while the park might be lighter on attractions, the theming and atmosphere here is one of the attractions. Now Busch Gardens is still a nice, attractive, and clean park, but the design here never really transports you away to the Congo or to Egypt when you're in one of those areas of the park. It always still just feels like a theme park. On this one, the choice is easy. Advantage, Animal Kingdom. Alright, now it's time to talk about the animal exhibits. Probably the main thing that both of these parks have in common is that they're both bona fide zoological parks that both do a lot of work in animal conservation. They both have rides and themed attractions, but they also both have animals at the heart of what they do. Now after a recent visit to both of these parks, this one actually surprised me. Animal Kingdom has great animal habitats throughout the Asia and Africa parts of the park. On the Maharaja Jungle Trek, you'll encounter tigers and monkeys, while on the Gorilla Falls Trail, you'll of course see a wonderful gorilla habitat, as well as hippos and exotic birds. Then of course there's the Kilimanjaro Safari, which is probably the premier attraction in the park, where you'll see giraffes, elephants, rhinos, and so much more. There's a few other habitats around as well, but for the most part that's it. There aren't really any animals in Dinoland USA or Pandora unless we're counting animatronic versions of extinct or extraterrestrial animals, and both of these make up a significant part of the park. Now over at Busch Gardens, they too have a large Serengeti plain where the animals can roam free, and although it's about half the size of the sprawling Kilimanjaro Safaris at Animal Kingdom, it's still very big and can be viewed from lots of spots in the park, not just from one of the Jeep rides. There isn't a safari ride that takes you out onto the plain unless you pay extra for a safari tour, but there is the guided Serengeti Railroad, which takes you around the entire thing and gets you up close to plenty of animals like giraffes, zebras, and rhinos. Yes, the Animal Kingdom version is a lot better, but Busch Gardens does a good job here too. At Animal Kingdom though, the only way to see lots of the big animals like rhinos, elephants, and giraffes is to wait in line for that safari tour. And once it's over, that's it. You need to get back in the long line and do it again. And some of the animals might be quite far away or hiding. While at Busch Gardens, you can easily view the animals in their own habitat in the park and see all the animals roaming the plain from the train ride, the sky ride, or from the Serengeti Overlook. Busch Gardens also just has more animal exhibits and spreads them all over the park. There are other premier habitats like Jungala, where you can get up close to tigers, and the Miambi Reserve, where you can visit gorillas and chimpanzees, are all right on par with anything you'd find at Animal Kingdom as well. You can also pet kangaroos, feed flamingos, and see huge alligators up close. We recently visited both parks to compare the two, and this one actually came as a welcome surprise. But when it comes to the animals you'll experience, we're actually going to give the nod here to Busch Gardens. It just feels like you're never far away from any of the animal encounters in the park, and they have more ways to interact with the animals here as well. Okay, so none of this stuff is free, and Florida theme parks are getting more expensive every year. So which of these two parks do we think has the better value for the money? So let's just say you have one day to visit either of these parks. As of right now, a one-day ticket to Busch Gardens is $89.99 for anybody 3 and up. A one-day, one-park ticket to Animal Kingdom is $114, but that might vary a little depending on when you go, and there are some Florida resident deals that come and go sometimes. So for a family of 4, it's about an extra $100 just for admission to Animal Kingdom, and that's before you've eaten anything. Busch Gardens does have an all-you-can-eat option you can tack on for another $35 for adults and $20 for kids, which might help you save on food if you're going to be there all day. And that would make your ticket just a little more expensive than what you'd be paying for Animal Kingdom. So which park is the better value? Well, now again, this is a tough one because a lot of what both parks offer is up to personal taste. You might be happy to pay the Disney premium for the Disney experience, and that's fine, but it's also worth noting that Busch Gardens tends to be less crowded and has more rides to accommodate the crowds. So that usually means less time waiting in line and more time having fun. But Animal Kingdom stays open later most of the year, so you get more time in the park for your money. But simply because there's a little more to see and do for less money, we're going to give the slight edge here to Busch Gardens. Okay, so which park is our overall winner? Well, we still have to take a few intangibles into account. The level of service you'll get from the employees at a Walt Disney World park will, for the most part, be better than what you'll find at Busch Gardens. There's also just those warm fuzzies you get from a Disney park that you won't find anywhere else. Both are great parks, and each one has a few things they do better than the other, but if you said to me that I could choose just one of these parks to spend the day in, I think I would have to go with Animal Kingdom. It's just the overall feeling, the atmosphere, the entertainment, and quality of attractions there are just hard to say no to. So maybe if you're visiting Walt Disney World on vacation and want to take a day to see another park, the drive over to Tampa to visit Busch Gardens takes about an hour and could be a nice alternative to Animal Kingdom if you're looking for a place that leans a lot more heavily into the thrill ride department. They also have a lot of great animal attractions that I think actually beats out Animal Kingdom's, and it's a really great park too. Well, if you have your own opinions on either park or just want to let me know that I'm wrong, please leave a comment. Just be nice. And please be sure to subscribe to keep getting more videos about Florida. We also have a podcast where we discuss this topic and lots more about what's fun under the Florida sun. Just search for Sunshine State of Mind wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for watching and see you next time.